I'm not sure where this video is going to go today. It's going to be more or less just a stream of consciousness. I have a couple different thoughts rolling around in my head, and I don't know how they're going to intertwine and play out together, and I certainly don't want this to turn into a rant, so let's just see how it goes. Earlier today, I read a post on Instagram that I believe was in response to the Supreme Court nominations, hearings, testimony, whatever you want to call it, that were going on today. And I'm not going to get into that at all, but the post was generally saying, as adults, we're teaching our kids not to bully and not to be mean to each other, and we want to eradicate bullying and that kind of stuff and protect our kids, and it should just be a perfect world, and they should be treated with kid gloves and isolated from anything negative. And yet as adults, here we are treating people like crap and just being mean to each other. And so we, on one hand, we want something for our kids, but we don't model that behavior ourselves. And it's so true. I think that we do that so often, is we expect something else for others, but we don't take those values and instill them in ourselves and treat others like we want to be treated. So the whole bullying thing, I am certainly not for bullying, and if there was a way that we could get away from it, then yeah, I think that would be great. But I think that in a way, bullying is part of life. It's, there are mean people in the world, and people that are going to crap on you, and people that are just going to treat you nasty, and you have to learn how to handle that. You have to learn how to get a thick skin. Now, I don't think people should bully just to be able to get that lesson, if that makes sense. But you need to learn how to handle that. I think of my son, and I would much rather teach him how to handle the bullying than to run away from it or not acknowledge it. He's been bullied in school before. I don't like it. I'm not happy about it. But instead of trying to find the perpetrator or perpetrators and get them suspended or expelled from school, I would much rather take the time to teach my son how to handle those situations and realize that it's maybe not him, it's the other person, and they have their reasons for doing it and may not make sense or may not be right or whatever. But instead of completely shielding him from it, teaching him how to handle it when it happens. He's learning to drive, and he gets bullied on the road, people honking their horns, cutting him off and stuff like that. And he can react negatively to that or try to hide and run away, and I'm never driving. But it's more important to teach him how to handle that situation out on the road when that happens. And there are just so many other instances, and I think a little bit of negativity, or I don't know what the other words are, but helps make you immune or builds a strength in you. I think of myself, I rarely get sick, and half the time I joke that I just don't have time to get sick, which may be true, maybe not true, and maybe it's all psychological. But I also grew up overseas. I grew up in third world countries that were dirty, and it just wasn't necessarily clean environments or whatever. Now, I did get immunizations when we went over, so why did my immune system build up so much? Was it the immunizations? Was it living in dirty conditions? Maybe. I think I have a rather strong immune system, and if my food falls on the floor, I'll pick it up, and as long as there's not too much dirt and everything, or I can sweep the dirt off, I'll eat it. I'm known to eat food beyond its expiration date. We get leftovers, and it could be sitting in there for 2 weeks. If I open it up and there's not green stuff on it and it still smells okay, I'm going to eat it. I'm not one of these that 2 days and throw it out. But I say all that because, I think because of that, I've been able to build up my immune system, which I think helps not get sick. And I think the same thing with this whole, bullying thing or whatever. You need some of that negativity to learn how to handle those situations and build the strength and immunity to having that negativity. You're going to run into negative people. You're going to run into people that are going to be mean to you, and you need to learn how to handle it, right? It makes me think of that childhood phrase, sticks and stones will break my bones, but words will never hurt me, right? Well, that's true. Or, if somebody's just saying something to you, that shouldn't hurt you. You should be able to learn how to take that. If a complete stranger comes and disparages me and says everything negative they can, I'm not going to put any value in that because I don't know them. They don't know me. I don't know where they're coming from. And why should I take what they're saying seriously? Now, if my wife says something, I'll take that a bit more seriously because I value her opinion. I look up to her, and there's a difference in that. But, just these other people should not be able to control and make you feel bad like that. So, I guess that's it. When it comes to, this bullying and stuff, I think there's kind of two sides, two aspects to it. One is, as a person, you need to build up that thick skin. You need to build up that immunity and not take it so personally, and learn how to handle that and realize that that's more a problem of the other person or people that are directing that to you. And then the other part of that is, I've said this before in some videos, we just need to be more compassionate. We need to treat people like people. We've all got problems. You don't know what the other person's problem is, and have some compassion for them. To me, it comes back down to that. Treat people the way you want to be treated, right? If you want to go and dig up every little piece of dirt that they've ever done in their life and everything they've done wrong and air it out, be prepared to do that with yourself. What about your past? Is it so squeaky clean that you can do that? Or is there stuff that, like, you know what, I made mistakes, whatever, and I'd just rather not have those aired out? Treat the other person with that same respect. So there you go. That's what I have for you tonight. Hopefully tomorrow's topic's a little more cheery, but there you go. Have a great evening, and I'll talk to you tomorrow.